All right, this is hunting story number 6, right? Now I gotta go on 2 hands for these, right? Pretty cool. In case you don't know why I'm making this one, so this video series is for 2 reasons. If you're gonna get hunting advice on the internet, you wanna make sure that that person's experience is pretty close to what you want to experience one day, right? Second reason is for documentation purposes. I wanna make sure that my friends and family have access to my personal growth through my hunting journey and understand that there is a beginning and an end. Oh, not like really an end, but there's like constant growth along the way. And that if they're not at where they want to be at, they can watch this series and watch me grow as a hunter and really learn how to be a better hunter, because I'm going to give tips along the way. So with that being said, let's get right into the content. So we always start our stories off from the previous one. So this story is about my first horns longer than ears pronghorn hunt, pronghorn tag. And so previously I'd only hunted mule deer, right? I'd just come off of hunting area 18 for buck mule deer, and I'd seen pronghorn in the zone beforehand, and I drew it again. So I was very, very lucky to know the area a little bit and be going back into it. Now, like I said, since I had seen some pronghorn, I had some preconceived notions on where I might find them during the pronghorn hunting season. And I think one thing that I didn't realize was I was going to be hunting at a different time of year. I didn't realize I'd be hunting in August because previously I'd been scouting and hunting in late September for my scouting trips for deer, and early to late October, mid to late October for the actual hunting trip. So, so that's why, like, I want to give you that context, because that previously what I had learned sometimes is a benefit and sometimes it's actually a consequence. And so I'm hunting with the same rifle. Again, the laws hadn't changed yet in Nevada as far as how they handled some of their big game cartridges, things like that. So I'm hunting with an AR, and out of an AR-15, you can chamber it in a variety of different calibers and bullets. Some of those bullets go, they're lightweight and fast. Some of those bullets are really heavy and slow. At the time, you're allowed to use slow, heavy bullets, right? Just the way it goes. And so slow, heavy bullets tend to tumble inside the animal. I know a lot of people don't like that, and they would much rather see you use a much more high energy bullet. And so there are certain calibers now that just don't meet the criteria that they're looking for. So just want to make that caveat there, that we're always wanting to hunt with the weapons that are legal at the time, and when the laws change, you make a change, right? So I still have my Mosin Nagant. That's always been my backup rifle, but for these hunts, I do hunt with an AR, and so we're going out there on our scouting day, and we actually start scouting 3 days before the hunting season starts. And so, so we get out there, and we actually end up finding a buck on the first day, which is pretty surprising, right? So we went to all my spots first, of course, right? And my dad had marked this area on a map. And when I mean a map, I mean like a paper map. He didn't use Onyx, Hunt maps, or anything like that at the time. Just a paper map. And we try all my spots, and I'm like, look, these are the spots I saw them beforehand. We're just not seeing them today. Let's go to the spot that you had marked. And like, he literally used a paper map, reading some topography, and was like, I think they're going to be in this canyon here. Sure enough, we go in that canyon, and within 5 minutes, we see pronghorn. And so again, I don't know if you noticed the trend between the last story and this story, but my dad is much better at finding big game animals than I am. Even though I've shot more than he has at this point in time in my life, I've done a lot better at stalking and getting close to the animals, but he's done very, very well at finding them, at least. And so anyway, we go back into town, and we're like, all right, well, we'll just hang out in town for a couple of days. So we eat at some restaurants, we go to a movie, we hang out at the bar, get some beers, right? Like, we're just chilling. And then so we end up going back out there the day before opening day, because we're like, well, there is this watering hole, and Nevada does have a law where you're not allowed to camp within 100 yards of a watering hole. So we're like, you know what? Let's camp a little bit further away than what the law requires. We're going to camp a few hundred yards away from that watering hole, just so other hunters see us there and go, you know what? Maybe I'll camp somewhere else, or maybe I'll find a different spot. It is a good strategy, by the way, in case you ever use it. You know, just being the early bird that gets the worm, right? So we camp out there, and sure enough, I'm snoring like a saw, right? And so I wake up, and he's actually not, you know, not even in the, because we usually set up like a bed in the back of the truck. He's sleeping inside the cab because I'm snoring so dang loud. So he's sleeping in. So I go out there by myself, and I have a jackrabbit that literally walks right up to me. And you know, I'm just fascinated by how still the morning is, how calm it is. And I know that the antelope are going to wake up eventually, so I'm not too worried. I haven't even started glassing it, really. I'm just focused on being quiet and sitting still. And all of a sudden, I hear a buzz in my pocket, and I'm like, okay, well, my dad must have woken up. He must have texted me. And sure enough, he's up on the hill with binoculars, glassing down. He can see me. He can see where the pronghorn are bedded down at. And so all of a sudden that text is, they're moving towards you. And I knew where they were bedded down because we had seen them the previous day. So I'm like, okay, these antelope, they got to be like a half a mile away. I get another text like a minute later. And all of a sudden it says they're right there, right? And so I had spooked this jackrabbit away from me, right? Which is, you know, kind of cool to like, you know, have that experience of like, you're so still, the rabbits are walking up to you. But then all of a sudden you're getting texts that the antelope are there. You're suddenly like panicked and scaring all the rabbits away, right? Because you're moving around now. And sure enough, he's looking right at me. Take my gun, I take a shot, and I miss. It skims his neck, and I feel so bad, right? And so he runs out. He's 200 yards away, and I take my gun, offhand shot at 200 yards, and I drop him, right? Now, again, I had been practicing with offhand shooting at the time, right? And so I was very, very comfortable and capable of 200-yard shots in the field. Also, I had previously just shot a mule deer with the same rifle at 200 yards. So I knew that as long as it was a good shot, it was going to be effective. And sure enough, it was. I pulled the trigger, shot him, he dropped. And again, I do want to mention, like, there is some people who would say that there's some hypocrisy in that. But I do think that shooting within 200 yards is that distance where you're going to have human error no matter what position you're in. If you're standing, sitting, kneeling, or in prone, I'd say prone probably takes 99% of your shot error out of it as far as the human element. But I think you can manage the human element at 200 yards field shooting. I think that's why I'm so passionate about convincing people that they should be getting closer to the animals, is because, you know, you have a body that is capable of marksmanship, of being steady, but there is a certain limitation to that. And when you're trying to shoot out at, you know, 400 yards and you're using a shooting stick standing up, I just think you're trying to take that human element out of it so much that you could have literally just walked closer and just been a human and, you know, taken the shot. So anyway, now we're hooping and hollering and we're super excited. And so I'm starting to walk out to where it is. And I'm on the phone with my dad, and he's guiding me towards, you know, where he believed it was down. And he's like, look, you're standing exactly right where you should be. And I literally don't see him. Well, I turned to the left. I'm talking with him on the phone about how, like, you know, like just different things like that. And all of a sudden I kick something and I look down and he's sitting right there. The grass isn't more than 8 inches tall, 9 inches tall. It's barely above my ankles. But sure enough, I didn't see him until I was right on top of him. So I just want to make that note to you, that if you are one of those snipers out there who just, you know, they do that high shoulder shot, you can see the animal drop and like there's no blood trail or anything, just know that you're also finding a smaller target too. So anyway, I found him, we recovered him, got him into the truck, and that was another one of those super satisfying hunts. And it really lit a passion inside me for pronghorn. I really didn't understand these animals until I had hunted them, and they are probably one of the most fun animals to hunt. And I think once I hunt bighorn sheep, I'll probably have a very similar opinion, because I know bighorn sheep and pronghorn, they have a lot of similar behaviors. Now, obviously, they live in different terrains, but from what I understand, it's a very similar hunt. And so I do believe that when I hunt them one day, I'll be very excited to do this. So, but yeah, if you ever get the privilege to hunt pronghorn, just know that you can get really close to them. You can get 200 yards away. My first shot that I missed, it was like 100 yards away. So Again, you can be a marksman, but and try to snipe, out snipe the other guy as much as you want, or to out snipe the animals from their ability to detect you. But there's really nothing like getting in close and making sure that it's you, the hunter, that is beating the animal, not the bullet. So hopefully that gives you some perspective. I do appreciate you for watching. Hopefully it's been a fun story, and you have a great day.